In the early 1900s, films in the US were dominated mostly by silent films with actors of European descent. Characters who were of East Asian background were often played by European actors who would tape and paint their eyelids to simulate the appearance of Asian roles.
But back in those days, I have to tell you this, the Good Earth, the leading role was played by these guys with the eyes taped up like this, and they talk like this, because the producer said the Asians were not good enough, and they are not box office.
Anna May Wong was born January 3, 1905, right outside of Chinatown. Her and her sister went to a neighborhood public school, but eventually had to move to an all-Asian school because they were receiving racial taunts. During lunch, Anna May Wong would sneak out to watch the Hollywood sets and would use her lunch money to go to the cinemas. Even with her parents' strong disapproval, she started acting at the age of 14, where she landed her first role in The Red Lantern. This time was a difficult period for Asian Americans. There was significant racial discrimination against Asians, specifically Chinese Americans, who many feared were taking white jobs. The 1882 Chinese Exclusion Act targeted Chinese immigrants and continued the racial divide against Asians, specifically in California. Although she opened the doorway for Asian actors and specifically female Asian actors to play pivotal roles in Hollywood films, she was frustrated by being typecast. In most of her roles was typically cast as either the butterfly or the dragon. The butterfly was a role characterized by a meek, docile female who is often the side attraction of the main male roles. Often dying at the end, the dragon is a villainous anti-hero who is hated by the audience. I was so tired of the parts I had to play. Why is it that the screen Chinese is nearly always the villain of the piece, and so cruel a villain, murderous, treacherous, a snake in the grass? We are not like that. Not unlike the era when Anna May Wong was on film, modern-day Asian actors still struggle with obtaining lead roles in Hollywood.
Wow! Holy smoke! Crash landing!
Short round. Step on it.
Okie dokie, Dr. Jones, hold on to your potatoes!
Often, Asians are depicted as either the comedic sidekick or pigeonholed into martial arts, knife-wielding kung fu characters.
Our image is very striking, and I think that's the challenge just in general with a lot of these roles, right? Like you want to, they're the sidekick or they're the side character. They're not the main because we look different. But I think today's time has totally changed. I will remember when I was a kid, I could see all the, like, if there was an Asian person, or like when I saw Sandra Oh on Grey's Anatomy, I'm like, oh my gosh, like an Asian person. I would remember that. And I think slowly but surely in like your generation, there are so many more creative types that don't fit a role. When we started singing, we first sang in front of mostly Asian American audiences, so we were very well received. The interesting thing was when we started doing the a cappella circuit, it was mostly Caucasian, and it was just kind of like they were surprised that there were singers that looked like us, but we sounded different from, I guess, what we look like. So I think that was an interesting surprise. People were kind of blown away that we had these really soulful voices. I remembered when I saw Miss Saigon and I saw Lea Salonga, I thought she had the most beautiful voice, and I felt like, wow, she was like the first person that I saw that, looked like me and can sing. So it was really neat.
Every rejection, every disappointment has led you here to this moment. Don't let anything distract you from it.
Growing up in where I grew up in a small town that was predominantly white, like The Goonies and like Indiana Jones, those were all really big movies. Movies that I didn't really watch. And so I was not very aware of Kihei Kwan and until the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once came out. And so at Unforgettable, that was a big topic of discussion, one of the things that was being celebrated the most. And Kihei was being honored at Unforgettable, and he got to get up and give a speech, and it was really, really moving and impactful because Kihei is somebody who gained a lot of fame and success very early on as a child actor, and maybe not in the best ways. I think it ended up causing him a lot of struggle because like someone like an Anime Wong or people that came before him in the industry were typecast, were put into these stereotypical roles, and that's all you would get. We have to have the beginning to even think about the end. Had Anime Wong not taken on these roles that really, at the end of the day, were very stereotypical and not great, you know, we wouldn't have people like a Michelle Yeoh who could then not only bash down the barriers, but win an award like a Golden Globe, and then as she tries to get played off, tell them, no, this is my time, I'm taking up this space.
Look at this face. I came here and was told you're a minority, and I'm like, no, that's not possible. And then someone said to me, you speak English. I mean, forget about them not knowing Korea, Japan, Malaysia, Asia, India. And then I said, yeah, the flight here was about 13 hours long, so I learned on the way.
So without Anime Wong doing what she did and being vocal about why she would end up leaving acting, you know, we wouldn't have somebody like a Michelle Yeoh, like a Kihei Kwan to be able to carry that legacy on.
In me, and this is also for all the shoulders that I've stand on, all who came before me, who looks like me, and all who are going on this journey with me forward. So thank you for believing in us. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Anime Wong was a Hollywood actress that crossed the frontier of Asians in film by becoming the first Asian American woman to get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She had to overcome a sexist and racist world where she was often cast as either the damsel in distress or the villain, or simply rejected from roles just because of her skin color. She took control of her career by creating her own producing company to overcome and gain respect and success. Due to Anime Wong's perseverance and strength in a cruelly sexist and racist world, she achieved her dreams and inspired other Asian women to continue to increase the diversity of the film industry.
Change the hope, us in a place until